And welcome into In-Game Chat for Saturday, September the 17th, 2022. It is Season 16, Episode 31. I'm Scott.
And I'm RJ.
Hello, everybody. If you'd like to get in touch with us, our phone number is 334-272-9228. Check out ingamechat.net for all the links to get in touch with us. You can find us on Twitter at InGameChat. You can find us on Facebook that way as well. You can also email us, everyone at ingamechat.net. Sure, shoot us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Or you can join in on our Discord right now. We have a Discord, and you can find that at our website, ingamechat.net. We're streaming right now on Twitch. Go to twitch.tv and search for In-Game Chat, or just go to our website, where you can find a link that'll take you directly to our channel. And you can watch us live, excuse me, while we broadcast there. And you can join in the chat room both on Twitch or Discord and just chat it up about whatever's going on or whatever you want to talk about. Perfectly fine. So, welcome into the show. Oh yeah, gotta do this again. Before I forget, like I did last week. Here we are. All taken care of for there. Let's see. I don't want to jump into what we played just yet. I kind of want to. I'll save that for the end of the show. There was a busy week. Game wise, it was a busy week. I have like 15 pins, and I have no idea which one. Here, I'll put pins in each. Put them in both hands. That way, I'll be satisfied with having pins in the hands. Yes. It was a massively busy week. That started with the Nintendo Direct, I guess. Yeah, that's what they're still called. So we got a Nintendo Direct that showed off a lot of stuff. Mm-hmm. We got a new Street Fighter 6 trailer, which I think also gave us more roster and create a character, I believe.
Yeah, there's got some a pretty well detailed looking create a character mode that was going on through there. And I've said before that a good create a character system will keep you occupied for days.
Oh, of course, yeah.
All the details you can put in there, and it looks like it's shaping up to be a pretty good one.
Yeah. So we got that, and then we have the Sony State of Play, which gave us some brand new. It was very highly focused on samurai. It was like 3 different samurai games. In there, or at least felt that way. It was maybe it was less than that, but it just felt like, this is another
samurai, ninja, feudal Japan.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of looks to be a lot of based on the success of what happened with the Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's exactly what I was thinking. Was like, hey, this did well. Let's revisit. Although for Sega, they already had something in the can with doing this remaster of what they're doing. We're going to go over that, but also with Team Ninja's new thing. With the Ronin, which looked really good. That is something I look forward to as well. So there was that, and then I think there's even a demo out right now on PlayStation 5, not for that game, but for something else. That is again like at least a Japanese game, but I want to say it involves like the feudal Japan and samurai, that sort of thing. I can't remember what the name of the demo was. It's the one that looks. God, now I'm trying to remember. It has a very From Software vibe to it, but it isn't From Software. And I can't remember the name, but we saw some of it earlier, and I remember posting it in the chat room so that you could take a look and say, hey, look what they're doing. It's kind of a...
It's Fallen Dynasty?
I don't remember.
Long?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. That rung the bell. Thank you. That is available on, I believe, PS5 and Xbox Series X, the demo.
Yeah.
There's that. And then... yesterday, news broke in the afternoon. It's the first thing we're going to hit here today about not necessarily game related, but it has to do with gaming so intrinsically with what they do. But a company by the name of EVGA, who makes power supplies and graphics cards, and honestly, I think that's it. They probably make other stuff, really, and I'm sure that they do.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I knew EVGA for was a pretty reliable power supply. That's what I've known them for a while.
I've known them for both power supplies and graphics cards, mainly because, I was searching an entire year trying to get graphics cards, and EVGA was one of those. I have been more of an MSI guy when I get my third party, my AIBs.
They usually get them for boards.
Yeah.
For
well,
boards,
and that's what's in my rig right now is a MSI motherboard with a Corsair cooler, previously from an EVGA, but my EVGA got fried when I got hit by lightning, which also fried my MSI graphics card.
Yeah.
So on the spot, because I needed a power supply, I had to take what was available at the closest Best Buy, which was Corsair. And so I replaced the EVGA with a Corsair, which the EVGA had replaced a Corsair from previous because the Corsair crapped out on me.
Yeah.
Not because of a lightning strike, it just crapped out on me. So I was a little bit like, I don't really want to go back to Corsair, but there was really no other recourse that I could do. So that replaced that, and the MSI graphics card was replaced in the interim, was replaced with a replacement MSI graphics card from Matt, thankfully. But I actually ended up picking up an EVGA 3080 for the replacement of that. And so I have an EVGA graphics card in my PC right now. The reason I bring this up is because the news broke that EVGA is getting out of the graphics card business, and it's kind of a messy breakup. They are. In other words, they're not going to cater to NVIDIA anymore. They are breaking up with their business relationship with NVIDIA. This came out at 3:00 yesterday afternoon. A couple of YouTubers had broke the story as far as, and I guess they were given enough heads up because, you got to film a video and then you got to upload it and it's got to render and all this other stuff that has to go on. So there was ample time, and I guess they were sitting on this news for a little bit. I don't know how long, but they were sitting on this news, and it broke at 3:00 yesterday afternoon, our time anyway. But, and I'm just going to read this is from PCGamer.com. EVGA has decided not to produce video cards with NVIDIA's next generation of GPUs, the RTX 40 series, which we're thinking is going to be announced this week with a release probably in November. Maybe sometime later this year or early next year, if that's the case. However, the news is even bigger than that. Speaking to Gamers Nexus, EVGA CEO Andrew Hahn said that the California-based company isn't just skipping the next generation NVIDIA chips, but will completely stop making graphics cards going forward. They are done. EVGA has been making graphics cards since 1999, going all the way back to the NVIDIA TNT2 chips. But Hahn, and this is quoted, would not even entertain the idea of working with Intel or AMD. So no graphics cards at all. Not from Team Red, not from Team Green, which is what NVIDIA is known as, Team Green, and AMD is known as Team Red. Just because that's their little branding colors, that's all. They're not doing it anymore. Here's the weird part about that. And we're going to get to it in the article here, but I'll just go ahead and tell you. People have already looked at the numbers on this thing. The revenue that an EVGA gets from their graphic card sales, that's 80% of their revenue. As they are cutting out 80% of their revenue. Unless they're about to pivot into something else that is going to make up for that, although I don't think it will, regardless of what they go into.
Hurting themselves to spite NVIDIA.
I don't know, man.
That is not a business.
Trust me.
That is not a business type decision.
Everybody else is scratching their heads on this thing too. Now, he gives some reasons here, and we're going to get into it, but it must be dire for some of the reasons that they have here. So here's what we're going to say. Let's see. He wouldn't even tell you. EVGA's decision is at least partially a result of frustration over its treatment by NVIDIA. According to both sources, it is about respect. And so according to NVIDIA, according to EVGA, it's about respect. Graphics cards are reportedly 80% of EVGA's current business, but that doesn't mean it plans to close up shop because of its split with NVIDIA. It told Gamers Nexus that it doesn't even have layoffs planned. Once EVGA finishes selling off its stock of the 30 series card, which is the card I have now, and that is the most recent series of cards, it'll focus on its other products, which includes motherboards, power supplies, and other PC components and peripherals. Not enough. They're going to focus on the other 20% of their revenue. How to make up for that massive hole, I do not know.
There's nothing that's going to be overnight. It's going to have to be gradual, if that.
Yeah, the majority of EVGA's revenue comes from the sales of its NVIDIA graphics cards right now, but Han said that the margin is incredibly thin and that EVGA makes 300% more profit on power supplies.
Like I said, it's what they were known for before.
I guess so. I always kind of figured it more as but I only think of it more as a graphics card because that's what I was hunting, you know. If I was hunting power supplies, then I'd be thinking, oh yeah, EVGA makes some great power supplies.
Yeah,
but I knew they did.
It was like some certain companies, I think, for certain parts, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a time when Roswell was my go-to for power supplies because the Roswell was the longest-lasting power supply I've ever had in any computer I've built.
I don't blame you there. When you've got a product, what made you switch? You just couldn't get a Roswell?
I couldn't get a Roswell of that caliber anymore, so I had to switch up.
Roswell doesn't really go into the upper echelon, I guess, of the higher tier power supplies.
Yeah,
that I know of. Obviously, again, I don't. I'm not necessarily brand loyal to my PC parts, but the thing about buying PC parts is when you get stuff that works, you tend to stick
with it, yeah.
Because it is such a...
If you were a brand loyalist, every part would be from the same company.
Yeah,
but
it's
no,
such a shaky ground on a PC type thing where the first time you get burned, it's bad. I mean, every time you get burned, it's bad. If your graphics card fails...
Your hard drive fails.
Yeah, you don't forget that stuff. And you think, well, I can't risk that anymore. I need to switch to somebody else. And when it works for you, you stay with them. And it doesn't matter. I mean, if you've got to pick a brand first to go with, and when you do, and it works for you until the next upgrade, you stick with that brand usually without really making the switch, depending on how you do it. And if you're trying to save money or do something different, you may, go back and forth between two brands, whoever's got the better price. But anyway, back to this article here. Their current business doesn't mean there's 300% more profit. Even so, it isn't entirely clear how they're going to ditch the largest part of its business without laying off any employees, including staff members currently dedicated to graphics card engineering and support. Attrition is expected, said Gamers Nexus, who was the one that broke the story here. EVGA's decision isn't the sort of dispassionate business move one might expect. Han reportedly feels that NVIDIA has been treating EVGA unfairly. Told Gamers Nexus that the decision to stop working with NVIDIA was easy because working with NVIDIA was hard. According to research, the relationship between EVGA and NVIDIA changed from what EVGA considered a true partnership to a customer-seller arrangement whereby EVGA was no longer consulted on new product announcements and briefings. They were not featured at events, and they were not informed of price changes. EVGA was frustrated by NVIDIA undercutting its cards with its own Founders Edition. So just to explain that, think of it like a liquor store, If you buy an NVIDIA card that is NVIDIA's brand, that is the one that they make, you are paying the lowest price you can outside of somebody, a private owner selling off their, used one or whatever the case may be. But if you're buying corporate like that, then when you buy NVIDIA, whether it be from Best Buy or online or Amazon or anything like that, you're paying the lowest price you can pay. The third-party vendors, the AIB cards, the ones from MSI, the ones from ASUS, the ones from EVGA, have to have a markup on theirs. They cannot sell theirs as low as NVIDIA can by contract, by agreement. So I get where EVGA is coming from this, but they're not the only ones who have to do this. All the AIB cards have to do this. Now, the other stuff that they talk about where they were no longer consulted, they weren't featured at events, they're not informed of price changes, that I can't answer to on the other third-party vendor type stuff. But I just know that if you're buying from NVIDIA, you're paying the cheapest price. If you're buying anything else. Now, when you buy anything else, you're getting a lot of bells and whistles in there. I mean, there's a lot more to it than just, when you buy an NVIDIA card, you are buying the card, the bare bones of
minimum,
it.
yeah. There's got to be some feature on the others to make it worthy of that increase in price. Yeah.
There's no RGB on it, which whatever you want to call it, that's fine. There's no extra cooling, radiators and fans and multiple fans and all this other stuff that comes with it. There's there's nothing like that whenever you do that. There's and there's a considerable markup when you do that.
Yeah.
There wasn't much at the beginning of this new series, which came out 2 years ago, the 30 series. I remember because pre-orders started when I was in the hospital, both for that and for the new console editions. So it was September of 2 years ago, 2020. The cards weren't too extravagant. Your 3080, I think, was $700. And if you bought from a third-party company, you're paying $750 to $800. So the markup was there, but it wasn't that much. Yeah. Now, if you fast forward into, let's see, that was 2020. In 2021, in the summer of 2021, some sort of tax thing was implemented, or was lifted. I guess I can't remember what it was, but it was on imported stuff from China. And once that was gone or implemented, or I can't remember exactly what it was, something that kept the prices low was finally lifted and the prices shot up. Not only that, they were hard to find on store shelves. People were using them for mining, for Bitcoin mining, which as of, I want to say this week, all of that is actually stopped now. Like full stop. Nobody's doing the mining anymore because Ethereum or something. I can't remember what the whole situation was, but it's all people are trying to get rid of their cards now because they have an overabundance. It's kind of like the toilet paper hoarders from the pandemic.
Yeah,
got a lot left over, didn't use much, and didn't really make anything off of it.
Yeah,
although
stuck with it.
Yeah, I don't know about the Bitcoin guys. They could have made some stuff there. Although Bitcoin didn't have the best of, even when Bitcoin has bad days, it's still pretty good to own Bitcoin. You're okay. So yeah, just to explain to those who may not understand this, that's how that works for the cards. EVGA's direct communication on the topic reveals much less. In a statement posted by EVGA in its forums today, the company said it will continue to support its existing graphics cards, but will not carry the next generation. EVGA is committed to our customers, will continue to offer sales and support on the current lineup, but we would like to say thank you to our great community for many years of support and enthusiasm for our graphics cards. They expect to be done with their current stock of cards by the end of the year, likely before.
Now, they say they're not closing up shop, but like you said, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, well, it's hard to, I don't understand. Now, I was reading forums, and so I can't really validate what I'm about to say, but it's not like it's that controversial anyway. From what I understand, EVGA has no debt, and they own their own buildings. All those buildings are owned and paid, bought and paid for. So they're not paying any kind of rent. They have no debt. Those are bonuses when you're about to cut 80% of your revenue. I don't know. They seem to think they're going to be fine. I don't know, man. They seem to think they're going to be fine. And I'm not like putting which it'd be interesting to see how the stock on what their stock's going to do, but I don't even think they're public.
I mean, I don't expect things to go smoothly for a while for them. If they, like you said, I'm still harping on the 80% of your profits are gone.
Yeah. This article says, I think it's safe to assume that NVIDIA might have more to say if it weren't a public company with $328 billion market cap. But that's all we're getting for now. The hole left by EVGA's exit from the NVIDIA graphics card business will presumably be filled by other manufacturers. We got Gigabyte, ASUS, Zotac. For those who own Zotac cards, that's fine. I've never put them in the running for anything, but also MSI is in there as well. NVIDIA recently teased something called Project Beyond, which we assume, and I assume, is related to the GTX 40 series GPUs, which, like I said, we'll hear something about that later this month. Andrew Han, the CEO of EVGA, also said that he does not plan to retire or sell the company.
Yeah,
which either the company just goes down and he just doesn't do anything with it. He takes it with him, and then they go bust, or they have got some elaborate plan set to go to make up for this. I don't know what it is.
Well, in a lot of situations, we'll just have to wait and see.
See, Lethal Migrant says EVGA should get in bed with AMD and push AMD cards. See, that's not what Han said. Han said they would not even entertain the idea of working with Intel or AMD.
Yep.
So, I mean, this is a hard stop. Now, you say that they should get in there, and they say that, no, we're never going to do that. You might. You say you never will.
Yeah, never say never, especially in business, because the right opportunity right opportunity might come along and make you change your mind.
Yeah, and to be clear, I don't know.
Especially if it will help you with that 80% loss of profit.
Yeah, I don't know if there's any kind of bargaining going on. I don't know if there is something where they can work out, where NVIDIA and EVGA can work something out. Everything that dude has said about his company and what they're going to do forward really seems like it's a hard stop. Like he is like, no. I'm not budging on this. I am not going anywhere with this. There was checking out our Discord here. Nabokov had a ton of stuff on this. Here's a nice one. Let's see. This was the rundown. Existing company or customers will remain supported by EVGA's warranties. EVGA has withheld inventory to help replace and fulfill cards as needed. They expect to run out of the cards by the end of the year. EVGA is staying in business. EVGA is not selling its business. EVGA will not expand into new product categories. NVIDIA was notified of this in April of this year, that we're going to leave. EVGA has thus far not entertained the idea of Intel or AMD partnership. EVGA finished engineering samples of the 40 cards, but will not be selling them. So they got holds of the 40 series cards and were looking into them and what they could do and how they could, I guess, make some graphics cards with them, but said, yeah, we're not doing it. EVGA claims that employees will be reallocated, and EVGA's belief is that NVIDIA has screwed it over. So, I don't know. I would love to. I would love to hear. You won't, but I would love to hear some other third-party boards chime in. Other companies, ASUS and MSI. MSI, I just don't think about the. See, it's a weird thing. I know you. We said EVGA. You think power supplies. I think graphics cards. MSI. What comes to mind?
Boards.
Yep, boards, but also graphics cards for me. I can see the motherboards. I can see the graphics cards. I don't know of anything else. Laptops. They make a lot of EVGA or MSI makes laptops. Yeah.
Video cards for me would be the one I got now is Gigabyte.
Yeah,
that's what I got now. So,
when you think of Gigabyte, you think of graphics cards, also motherboards as well. When you think of ASUS, you think of graphics cards, motherboards, monitors.
Monitors. That's what I think of.
A lot of peripherals in that regard on those. So a lot of these companies have, they've got stuff in all. They got many things on the oven, stove, whatever. Plenty to pull from. EVGA, the two things we can think of are power supplies and graphics cards.
Power supply was the only thing I thought of, EVGA, because I haven't bought anything else from them other than that.
Let me see. Looking over more, that was a lot of off-the-record stuff. What do we have here? What does this say? NVIDIA restricts its partners from selling retailers beneath price floors for some models and above price ceilings for others. This is a common practice in the electronics industry meant to maintain the perception of market value. EVGA says the policy has kept the company from creating unique high-end designs at more profitable price points. They also complain that NVIDIA's self-branded Founders Edition cards are priced to undercut cards from third-party suppliers. It always has been. As far as I know. I mean, I could get some corrections here, but I think that's been the case for a long time. And the reason I would never go with NVIDIA was because there's so much better bells and whistles on the other ones. Cooling factor being one, noise factor being another.
You're not going to get as much bang for the buck as you are.
Thermals and all this other stuff. Does it run hot? Does it run cold? I don't even like the fan setup on the Founders Editions, the ones that are from NVIDIA. I don't like the way the fans are set up on that thing.
What stands out to you?
Well, it intakes from the bottom and then it blows from the top, which is fine. It's kind of think of it as a Z on its side. You know, it goes in and then comes out the top.
Right.
And so that's fine. That's a good way to do it because normally they all come from the bottom and push up or whatever the case may be. But the way it's positioned, it blows right on my CPU. The exhaust. So it's pulling in the hot air and it's pulling the hot air from the bottom, which the intake, the way I've got my fan set up is exhaust is at the top. Exhaust is at the top.
Right.
And so it comes into the card and then the exhaust is right over there. Now I have a EVGA with 3 fans, all of them exhausting from the top of the card. But it's not in one single section. It's over a point of 3 spaces.
Yeah, spread out.
Yeah.
So not as much heat getting on your
and I'm
CPU.
also using an AIO, which is fine, or AIC, whatever it is, the all-in-one cooler, which is something I haven't done before. This is my first time running that. But, I've just never been... But I was totally fine getting one this year because... the price was cheaper because even when the prices went up because of the taxes and because of all the mining and everything else, NVIDIA never did anything. Their prices stayed the same the entire time, whether it be for their 3080, their 3080 Ti, their 3090, or their 3090 Ti, or any of the 30 series. The prices stayed the same. They did not increase because of the taxes or because of the mining. They were still hard to get. They're still hard to get. I still don't think you can buy one just by going into your Best Buy app or whatever and picking one up. I still don't think you can do that. You can get some third-party cards, but yeah. Anyway, let me see here. EVGA, ASUS, and Zotac. EVGA claims that the current dip in the GPU market is causing them to lose hundreds of dollars per video card for high-end designs. It's known that many of NVIDIA's GPU manufacturing partners have similar complaints, if not so passionately expressed. I'm curious about that. Company has 280 employees worldwide. It has already laid off 20% of its Taiwan workforce a few months ago. However, they say it will not be laying off more people, but there may be attrition due to canceled projects. They have no debt, they have liquidity, and they own all of its buildings. The video ends with an anonymous NVIDIA employee reinforcing EVGA's complaints in spirit. This employee states that NVIDIA's CEO sometimes wonders why board partners make money for not doing much. NVIDIA knows it doesn't have the supply chain to make all the boards itself. The employee references how Apple sells all of its hardware itself, thus making a profit on every unit sold. NVIDIA would reportedly like to mimic that someday, but right now, it doesn't have the global supply chain necessary to carry the weight alone. Interesting that they want to take an Apple pivot and move into that. Anyway, that was shocking to me. I have an EVGA card. Lethal Migraine has an EVGA card, I assume. You have an EVGA cooler?
EVGA power supply.
Power supply. Yeah. Not that it matters, because they're not getting out of the power supply business.
Yeah, yeah.
And as far as I know, there's no rules. Well, power supplies aren't. There's no chips in power supplies that are made by a single company, so that's fine.
Yeah, it's just how long. Yeah, it's just how long can you last now?
Yeah, I'm curious as to why he is against working with AMD or Intel. I'm curious as to why he doesn't. And when I say he, I'm talking about the guy who runs EVGA. Why they're not like, yeah, well, we'll just dip over here. Again, 80% of your revenue.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know, man, I've been a Team Green guy for a long time. So I have no idea if AMD has any kind of the same things that NVIDIA does, where it's like, look, you can buy our cards directly from us. That's the cheapest you can get them, or you can buy our third parties. I have no idea. I don't know if they're all set to be like, look, you can sell at whatever price you want to, but not lower than this price here. You know, like this is the manufacturer suggested retail price, the MSRP is what this is for, and it can't go lower than that. So sell them away as long as you want to. You can match our prices, or you can go higher, whatever the case. I don't know if there's any restrictions like that. There may be restrictions on when they can be released. In other words, the AMD cards have to be out for a week, 2 weeks before the third party. That usually happens regardless, mainly because of all the stuff that has to go into the third party boards, because there's a lot that they do. These things are beefy as hell. If you've ever seen one, and when I took the one that I had out of the box, man.
Yeah, you look at your computer and start wondering how much you got to shift around and move, or if the thing is even going to fit.
Not even that. You worry about sag, you know, because it's only. There's only this
It's like 3 paperclip connectors in this big encyclopedia book.
Right. Yeah. You know, when you put when you put it into the slot there, the slot is holding it in place, with the exception, of course, of when you have to screw in the stuff that attaches to the case. That helps the weight a little bit, but that is, and you can't see this on the radio. That is something that is like, I don't know, 6 inches, and it's got to hold up something that is almost
phone book.
I mean, massively thick and even longer than, I don't know, 6 inches probably too long. I'm not good at visualizing measurements. But it's smaller and it's got a lot of heft to it. Yeah. And it has to hold that thing in place. But anyway, the neither here nor there.
Yeah.
They're beefy cards. But yeah, so they're out of the graphics card business. There's I don't know what the speculation could be. I don't know what you do to continue that conversation, because the dude is set to say, that's it, we're done.
Yeah. I mean, let's see what happens in 3 months, man, because when that attrition and that struggle happens, let's see if they'll change their tune then.
See, that's the other thing. I know they said that they informed NVIDIA of this. I'm wondering when they informed their employees of this. And I'm wondering if their employees are thinking... Now, unless, of course, they've also informed the employees, look, here's an NDA and this is what we're going to do. Don't talk about it. Because, but if that's the case, then why wouldn't you talk about it? Because you want to, I don't know, you want to see if something bargains with NVIDIA so that they come back crawling and saying, oh, please don't go. NVIDIA doesn't care. All that does is open up more room for, I mean, definitely the other third-party companies. Yeah. Your ASUS, your Gigabyte, your Zotac, your MSIs. They're like, hey, that's great. One more less that we have to compete with. So when you wanna buy our cards, they're going to be there. EVGAs won't. Finally, you know, I don't see any reason NVIDIA would say, oh, please don't do this. Please come back. No, wait, don't go. You know, I don't hear any kind of desperation coming from them on this, especially if they're trying to be like Apple. They don't beg. They're not doing that. They would rather go out of business before they try to do something with help, I suppose, or whatever the case may be. Something that would have to be.
You don't see it affecting their bottom line at all. So
yeah. So I don't know. I don't know what EVGA is going to do. If I'm an employee at that place, though, I'm looking into what my options are. Unless, of course, they've informed me that this is what we're going to do. Every one of you is safe. Here is the promise that you're fine and nothing, I don't know. I don't know. Don't know. Anyway, that's all we know about that.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know what I don't know what you speculate on that. I don't know how you, because that's it. I mean, the guy seems pretty steady in his stance of,
for now, yeah.
We're not budging. That's it. We're out of the graphics card business.
Mm-hmm.
And he's the only one speaking up about it too.
Yeah.
I imagine MSI, I imagine these other companies probably feel the same way, but it's like, what are you going to do? It's this is how much of our business it involves. Mm-hmm. We can't lose that. EVGA is like, sure, we'll let it go. Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay. I feel like it's a wait and see, but I don't know what I'm waiting to see, because they haven't said we're going to move into making new products. We're just going to, they're going to keep making power supplies. How are you filling that 80% gap? Where's that money coming from? How are you getting, you're keeping your employees? I don't know. I think EVGA is going to die. Without them doing something, I think it will not survive. Mm-hmm. That is early speculation. That is early thinking of here's what's probably going to happen. But based on the information we have so far, I don't see that changing. Mm-hmm. I don't know. And here I am with an EVGA card, which is fine. It's been
still covered.
It's been running great. Whatever that moves, some wood around here somewhere. So yeah. Let's go to a break because we're way over time, and this track. Wish it was something a little bit more punchy. It's not. It's from a game called Hindsight, which is one of those little, not heavy on the action, more on the puzzle and the minimalistic type thing. It was shown off during E3, I think, but I can't remember who. I think it was maybe it was Devolver? No, it wasn't. It was the. It was something that was kind of an indie showcase, but they were all like, they're just really relaxing games.
Chill game.
Very chill. Mm-hmm. Very chill. And you'll notice from the music that it's very chill. It's called Hindsight. The name of the track's called 6 Years Old. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. This is music from Circus Electrique, if I'm pronouncing that right. This track is called Pub Fight. Anyway, welcome back to the show. Nabokov fan showed up in the chat on Twitch. Said he is making enchiladas and to have a good show, which I guess, I don't know if he means he left us on in the background while he makes those enchiladas, or he just popped in to say, here's what I'm doing. You guys have a good show. I'll talk to you later. But Nabokov, we just spent the first section of the show talking about EVGA, which I know you just sent a ton of information on our Discord for anybody who's Yeah,
Appreciate it, man.
No,
Yeah.
do appreciate it. Love it.
Yeah, we love it.
Yeah, when that thing, God, that was just a big deal when that thing broke. That was one of those things where I couldn't believe it. And another one, when I'm reading the headline, that I'm thinking, okay, there's some problems here. They're gonna negotiate, work something out. And then when I read into it, I was like, this is just the weirdest thing, man. This is the strangest thing. More so that he is not. It's like he's not wanting to budge. He's just stuck. Saying, that's it. I'm not going to do anything. I don't understand that. Hey, you're on In-Game Chat. Who's this?
It's me, Chris.
What's up, Chris? What's going on, man?
Oh, not much. It's playing more Fantasy Star Online, too.
Of course.
Yeah, I got hooked on it.
Did you watch that Nintendo Direct?
Yeah, I watched some of that, and then some of the different videos from the Sony one, too.
I figured more games would entice you in the Nintendo Direct. There seemed to be a lot more of, I want to say Western games or Eastern games, I suppose. No, Western games. There was a lot of Japanese type games,
Japanese themed
from the Nintendo Direct. I don't necessarily mean Japanese themed so much as, maybe anime themed or just stuff that looked like it was for you.
Yeah, I'm definitely getting that Tales of Symphonia remake.
Right? Exactly. So stuff like that, where I'm like, and I mean, we're going to go over that here in just a minute. And when I do, I'll just be like, that's Chris Game, that's Chris Game, that's Chris Game. Just like anytime I watch these things, I'm also like, that's an RJ game. That's an RJ game. Like when the State of Play opened for PlayStation, I'm like, oh, it's Tekken. That's an RJ game. It's not, because you don't hardly ever talk about Tekken.
Tekken. I'm a virtual fighter. In terms of 3D fighting, I'm a virtual fighter, Soul Calibur, things like that. Tekken has its place. Now I'll play it every now and then, but if I have the option between that and virtual fighter or Soul Calibur, I'm picking those two over. Tekken. Yeah.
So. There was. That's what happens when I watch those games, because
I may get that new Crisis, the Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core remake thing.
Right. Yep. Yep. And was it First Mission? No, Front Mission. First Mission. What's it called?
I can't remember, but the one that used to come on that was on the PlayStation Portable years ago when that first came out.
Yeah. There was a lot there. We're gonna go over everything that they announced. And what is it? Oh God, I'll mispronounce this, but both of you can correct me. Suikoden 1 and 2?
Close enough.
Yeah, is that right? Suikoden?
Is it SUI?
Yeah, SUIKODEN.
Suikoden.
Suikoden?
Yeah.
Suikoden.
I think I've always pronounced it Suikoden or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, anyway,
Whatever.
the 1 and 2 remasters were announced. And we're getting apparently a new Yakuza game, but not the same. It's got
I think
different title.
They want to take the Yakuza name.
They're getting rid of it.
Of the thing.
So there's that as well.
But people still call it Yakuza.
I mean,
I know
might
they
as
still
well.
I know they said it's called Like a Dragon, based on Yakuza though. The fans are still going to call it Yakuza, no matter what.
But Judgment they call Judgment, even though that's still
Lost Judgment.
Yeah. Those two games are still in that universe, though, right? They're still in that. Aren't they Yakuza games or no?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, it's a different story altogether.
I thought they had a connection to the games.
I don't know if there's a connection, but I didn't think there was.
I thought there was. Well, I could be wrong. See, I'm not going to know.
Same here. I could be wrong
that's
too.
me throwing things against the wall, see what sticks.
I mean, it's the same like a genre format, like exploration, voyaging things, side stories, all that type of stuff. Yakuza elements, but I don't know if there's a connection.
AC Ray says they are connected. It's the same universe. Okay. Yeah. Okay. What else you been playing? Anything else, Chris?
Not much. I'll probably get into Stray when the physical release of it comes out in a couple of days. But when I saw the remake of Tales of Symphonia, I thought the original graphics from the original game looked better than the remake. I didn't like the little cutesy look from the remake.
For what was it again?
Tales of Symphonia. I didn't really like the way the characters, their faces and their expressions looked on the characters.
Yeah.
And I was thinking the original looked better, and then I went back and looked at it, and well, it is an improvement. No, maybe never mind.
All right. Okay. Yeah, I don't really have anything to compare that to. It's not really. There was a lot in that Nintendo showcase that was like, not me. That's not for me. That's not me.
Not for me. Yeah.
Nope, not for me. Oh, look, new Zelda. Even though I haven't played the other one yet, but okay, great.
Yeah, I might be interested in Zelda too, but some of the other ones, maybe, just only certain ones I'd really go for, like the role playing games and stuff. And I really haven't went back and played much of Zelda since it first launched either. I can care less.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. No, it happens. There was a lot in that one and the one in Sony where I was just like, I'm not interested. Not interested. I mean, there was a few. Now, Sony's was only like 30 minutes. I don't remember how long the Nintendo Direct was. It seemed to go long. But the Sony thing was only like 30 minutes long, and a lot of it was not... I was interested because, new Tekken, but I don't play Tekken. But I was like, okay, this is good, new Tekken stuff. Even though it was not even gameplay. A lot of stuff was not even gameplay. That little stuff at the bottom was like...
your biggest frustration.
Yeah, that stuff at the bottom.
It's not gameplay.
Said a bunch of... all the time, it was like angles used for trailer purposes only, or does not represent final blah, 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 or this is not actual gameplay, or this image is pulled from PS5 and PC for trailer purposes only. There was a lot of that in what we saw in the Sony stuff. So...
Yeah, I'm also thinking about getting a new Sonic game too as well. It looks pretty decent now, considering everybody that was complaining about it. From what they've shown off so far. So
yeah, the Sonic
Frontiers.
Yeah.
I'm actually interested in that. Although I saw it was it was a forum post. Somebody created some Sonic levels in that PlayStation game called Dreams, which is Media Molecule, the guys who made Sackboy and everything else, where you can create your own stuff.
Okay.
They created Sonic levels, and this is legit looking Sonic levels that are really, really. The fact that those levels are made inside another game just blows my mind.
Yeah.
In fact, somebody also made the.
Look, you give folks the tools, they can make some pretty amazing stuff. You give them time.
And you can look this up on YouTube. You can look these up, Sonic levels in Dreams, or look up, and if you really want to be impressed, because somebody created it. And in fact, they go into how they created it. Somebody has that scene from Jurassic Park where the T-Rex breaks through the pen with the two vehicles there, and then he comes out at night and that sort of thing in the rain. Somebody recreated that in Dreams, and still photos, you can't tell the difference. You cannot tell the difference between the
original and then the one that they made in the heart from the software.
It is mind blowing. It is unbelievably amazing, and they go into how they did that, how they recreated that, how they got the lighting right and everything. It's just amazing with what can be done in that thing. So I'm thoroughly impressed by Dreams. Not impressed enough that I want to own the game, because I can look at that stuff and think, I can't do any of that. I'll just leave it to them.
I wouldn't be able to do any of that too. We don't have enough time in the world to do anything like that.
I say that, but somebody came up with it. Now, I would definitely get the game if I can pull these levels down that people are creating and play them. That's a completely different thing. But that's just real amazing looking stuff. So anyway, hey Chris, good talking to you, buddy. Well, hope you have a great week. We're about to hit our top of the hour break here.
All right, see y'all later.
Take care,
have
man.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Bye. Yeah, coming up next hour, we're going to go into what was shown off, the state of play for Sony and for the Nintendo Direct as well. We'll go over that. What else do we have? We got the whole Microsoft Sony situation with Call of Duty being in the center of it. So, what else? Yeah, that's all coming up. Do I have direct showcase? VR. Oh yeah, the ID at Xbox Showcase was done as well, which is a lot of independent games. So I mean, there was a ton. It was like September was E3 2 or something. It was like E3 for the fall. Excuse me, I'm reading over some more of this stuff just to see if there's anything worth hitting before we go. PSVR 1 games will not work on PSVR 2. Luckily, I did not gather much of a library of PSVR games in order to play PSVR 2. Although there was a preview event for PSVR 2 this week, and or maybe it was last week, I can't remember, but the impressions from that were really high praise of what they were seeing. With a lot of people who are Quest, MetaQuest and all those other, a lot of people who are VR enthusiasts saying, hey, this is good. Not top of the line, but for consumer grade, it is up there for being something pretty amazing with what they were seeing. I was okay with the Quest stuff, but I'm totally fine if they want to upgrade the look of stuff and that sort of thing. I'm really interested in that Horizon VR thing where you're in the Horizon world and can look at that stuff and can see those animals and everything else. I'm really curious about those. But yeah, well, we'll see, because I don't know. I think that's next year sometime. And I don't know when next year. Probably in the fall of next year. Probably Christmas of next year for the PSVR 2. And no retail price that we know of just yet has been mentioned. So no idea what it's going to run. All right, we're coming up on the top of the hour here, and I'm going to leave you with music from a game called Tim. Don't know anything about it, but this is called Max Rival Battle Theme. It's the name of the track. So we'll be back after the top of the hour here with more of In-Game Chat. Stick around. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music there. Oh, it just left. Music there from Nobody Saves the World. And I don't remember what the track name was because it just moved off the screen once it finished. It was a short track, so I just thought, I'll let it play through. But yeah, Nobody Saves the World was what that track was from. Anyway, welcome back to the show. And we didn't jump into what we had played. So feel free, RJ. What have you?
More exploring in Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Still finding the difficulty of playing as a astrologer, or basically magic user, in the game. I haven't had a lot of experience doing so in the other From Software titles. I mean, a little bit here and there to see what the what magic spells do.
Right.
But in this case, I'm actually going through a dedicated playthrough as a magic user, seeing how much. What differences have I got between that and the normal run that I usually do with a spear and great shield, and going through it that way. So I'm finding a little difficulty in some spots. I mean, a lot of getting one-shotted is what I'm finding out, especially in the later stages. And right now I'm at a point where I'm debating whether or not to go against Millennia.
Yeah.
In this game, because I'm trying to think of what I can get from her. I mean, it's either an incantation or her sword with a waterfowl dance. But that doesn't really fit well with my character because none of that involves her intelligence or nothing about that weapon boosts up anything. It doesn't scale with intelligence, so it's not gonna really benefit me. I guess the best I can get out of her is her armor. Yeah, basically more than anything else. So playing Fashion Souls, I guess, with that character was all I can do at that point. But it would be interesting to see how I fare against her, using magic instead of what I normally do. Yeah. Fighting game wise, I played a little bit more of Virtual Fighter. Still a struggle getting that number up, getting that number count up. Had some folks quit early,
penalties with that, right?
Well, not a really penalty. It's like the run back, basically. Nobody's willing to. A lot of folks that what I ran into wasn't willing to do a run back. Usually in the versus matches online, it's basically best 2 out of 3. Oh, okay. First one to win 2 matches wins. But you have the option after the first match to quit if you want to, because it's automatically going to ask you whether or not you want a rematch or not. So in this case, typical example is someone who was about to rank up if they won the match and they lost, so they lost some points in their bar. So instead of a rematch and trying to get them points back, they decided to quit then and there and play against someone else.
Because if it went bad the first time, it's likely to go bad the second time.
Give it a shot. Maybe you'll make an adjustment, because I make it as well. There's been plenty of times I've been level 30, but I've been fluctuating between 30 and 29 because I keep going back and forth. I've lost in clutch moments when I could have won. Things like that happens. That's part of the grind. There's a reason why I'm at level 30 with 460 fights now, but some people are like 2 levels ahead of me, with 3 times, 4 times as many matches
to
because
get there?
they fluctuated too. But the thing is, though, that number's bigger because they keep pushing, they keep striving, they keep going along, they keep going forward, not quitting when something is when they have a little adversity, so to speak. So other than that, that's pretty much all I've been playing this week.
Yeah, for me, it's just been Destiny 2 and Disney Dreamlight Valley for that. Found a new farming method, a literal farming method in Dreamlight Valley, where I can plant a bunch of carrots, which is what I'm starting with right now, and I can make tons of money. I've got 30 grand. Yeah, I make about 8 to 10 grand per turn-in of carrots. I got a field where I think I can plant like 50 of them, and they grow in 15 minutes. So,
Can you expand your farmland?
Oh, easily, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
good.
I can go bigger. I can totally go bigger. Ranked or leveled Mickey up to level 10, which is so far the max that you can level up your friendship with characters. And he's my gardening partner, which means if you do those activities with him, you get extra stuff. So, yeah. I unlocked the beach. And I have a quest I think it's a quest with Ursula from The Little Mermaid. But it sent me into a cave with Moana. So, yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm not really sure. Oh, yeah, I brought Remy the mouse from Ratatouille out of the big castle thing. He's now got a house, and I upgraded his restaurant, and it's all there for people to use now have access to a lot of different recipes and things like that. So, yeah, put some time in with it. As far as Destiny goes, and, just chugging along as usual.
The dailies, and the daily grind continues, right?
The daily grind does continue. It is extra Vanguard week, and so I'm running Nightfalls and Strikes and things to get my rep up with them.
Do you run them solo or with group?
With a group.
Randoms?
Yeah, no. Well, no, with randoms. I mean, the thing and when I say randoms, I go to Discord and I go to the LFG on Discord.
So not a true random, but
no, exactly. And can you see the screen over?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Yeah, this one right here. See where it's Destiny 2 LFG. So when I go there, I don't know why messages failed to load, but anyway.
Yeah.
When I go there, it shows. Where's that? There you go. So there's Nightfalls. So there's people looking to do Master Nightfalls. Join, and they give their join code in there. I copy that, I put it into the game, it joins up with them. We all have, everybody who joins up, we all have the same goal of, I want to beat this Nightfall, so we all, know what to do.
Well, I wouldn't call this random then. I mean, random to me is you just jump in and it's a crapshoot.
Well, they don't offer that with the higher tier Nightfalls. The Grandmaster Nightfalls, the Master Nightfalls, even the Legend Nightfalls. They don't matchmake on those.
Okay, well, I don't do those. I've never done those. So yeah.
The hero
except with you.
Yeah, the hero and the Adept Nightfalls, those are match made. So yeah, you can do that. But this is for everything here. If I want to run a dungeon, we're all here to run the dungeon. Or if I just want to do some of the seasonal content or the open world content, we can go to do a Lost Sector, or we can do something like that. So yeah, Exotic Quest, Crucible, Iron Banner, Trials, Gambit, that sort of thing. So very helpful in trying to do that. Oh, I left my mic off, and there's Mung Beans hanging out in Discord there. I don't know if your mic's ready there, Mung Beans, but we've got you. We got you ready to go if you are.
Oh, hey guys.
There you are. What's up, man?
Good. How are you guys? How's things?
Things are pretty good. Things are pretty good. Have you been listening to the show since we started here?
Yes, yeah. I'm a bit late today because I had to do a few things, so I only just managed to come in. So I'm only hearing a little bit of. Right. You guys were talking about that Disney game.
We were, yeah, yeah. And I appreciate you censoring yourself there real quick. I don't know what you were about to say. It sounded like you were about to say that Disney stuff. Yeah, but I don't know. Are you interested in it? Have you been playing? I don't know what kind of games you play.
I did see it, and it did seem interesting. Again, it seems to be one of those, like, it really hits you in the spot where you like achievement locking and. What is it like? Like collecting all the flags in Assassin's Creed kind of thing,
right?
That sort of stuff.
That is one of the major differences between Animal Crossing and this. Everybody calls it like, oh, it's just Animal Crossing with Disney stuff. Well, yeah, it is, but I have never had a more direct path of something to do in this kind of game than I ever had in Animal Crossing. Animal Crossing was more like, do whatever you want. There's some things you can do if you want to. But with this, there is mission after mission. And I say mission like, whatever, but it's task after task after task. You're not required to do it. You don't have to. But in order to progress not only the story of the game, but also to open up your world and bring more inhabitants into your world, you have to follow this path. And there's a lot to be done.
So there's more structure in this than in Animal Crossing.
Definitely mission structure. Yeah, totally. Lots more.
Yeah.
Lots more. You can have multiple characters giving you multiple quests. Some of them can be done now, and some of them require later game stuff to happen before you can move on. Or not before you can move on, but so that you can get certain materials and supplies.
Right,
so,
right.
Yeah. Very, very mission structured.
I was kind of hoping more to see more of the villains side of things. I don't know. I've done a 360 since growing up, liking the villains more than the hero characters. It seems.
Well, I haven't. Yeah. The only villain character I have so far is Ursula, and I haven't unlocked her yet. Like I talked to her, and she's like, "Hey, go do this task for me," but that hasn't brought her into my world yet. So yeah, that was the first villain that I've run into. Cool. So, we opened the show talking about EVGA. I don't know if you do a lot of computer gaming, but we were talking about EVGA and NVIDIA. Having a bad breakup.
Yeah, I heard about that.
That's amazing. Yeah.
It's like that's a long year relationship.
That's been 1999.
Yeah.
That is a marriage that went south.
Yeah. It's really funny. All my friends started posting their old EVGA video cards they used to get.
This is my first EVGA card.
I see.
The one that I have in my box right now is the first EVGA card that I've ever owned. I think the first card I ever had was a Radeon. It was a, and I can't even remember the brand name. I mean, it was Radeon, but I can't remember if it was third party or direct. I don't know. I don't remember. And then I had one card from Team Red, and then it was NVIDIA after that, starting with MSI and pretty much sticking with MSI. I never really veered away from MSI cards until this EVGA card. So, which was based on the necessity of it's available and it's not as high a price as that MSI card, so that's why I went with it. So, but yeah, they're not in that business anymore. So, hey, did you watch any of all the? There was a lot of game stuff this week. Did you watch the Nintendo Direct or the Sony State of Play or any of that stuff?
Yeah, I watched bits and pieces of it. Sometimes if I had a chance to really sit through it. But I think the Nintendo stuff seemed pretty interesting.
Right.
There was remakes of like the Front Mission games that I might be interested in.
We were going to talk about that. We'll just go over the list right here while we got you. I mean, have you got some time or you got to go or what?
Oh, yeah, I got some time.
All right. Fire Emblem Engage, which again, looking at this was like, oh, that's a Chris game, or at least not a me game at all. That's Fire Emblem I've never played in my life. But yeah, Fire Emblem is one. It's going to be released in January. It Takes Two will be coming to the Switch. That'll be on November 4th. Also a game I have not played yet. Fatal Frame, Mask of the Lunar Eclipse.
Got friends of mine who love that series.
Yeah, the survival horror game for the Wii was never released outside of Japan, or at least this version, but you can finally play it in English. It'll be released in early of next year. Xenoblade Chronicles 3, the expansion pass. Okay, I don't know. Yeah. Like I said, a lot of this was not. I was glad it was there, but it wasn't like pulling me in for anything. SpongeBob SquarePants, the Cosmic Shake. Okay. Oh. Fitness Boxing of the North Star. So it's Fist of the North Star, but it's done in a fitness thing. It's wrapped in a fitness boxing thing.
What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think Fist of the North Star?
Oh, the animation, the anime.
And what aspect of the animation do you think about?
Oh yeah, all the punching and the bloodiness.
You think of bodies exploding on impact. That's what you think about. And I don't see that with.
That's what the article says. The article says, stay with me here. Fitness boxing is a fighting game based on the classic manga Fist of the North Star. But that's not what's unique about it. You execute combos by playing a rhythm game. It is going to be released in March of next year.
Rhythm game.
Yeah, it's a rhythm fitness boxing game.
But nobody goes splat.
I mean, I don't know. I have one screenshot here, so I have no idea.
I think people are just wanting the game to say that phrase in Japanese, you already did.
Yeah, you already did, yeah.
Something called Oddballers from Ubisoft. That was a multiplayer dodgeball with some twists. It's coming out early next year. Tunic for the Switch. Mm-hmm. Not a game I played, but I did download it on Game Pass. I never played it. Front Mission First. There's the remakes. Front Mission 1 and 2. Getting remakes there. Or remakes, yeah. That's going to be coming out in November. Do you have a Switch?
I don't. I've actually been really, really thinking of getting one, like really badly. Because of the Zelda games and Front Mission and some of the Mario games. You
let the library expand a little bit, it becomes, worth picking up a system whenever the games start being there for you that you want to play. I, of course, I never take that advice. Is there a game on this system I want to play? No. Do I still want the system? Yes. Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life. It's a nice little farming simulator, which was a lot. Octopath Traveler 2. That was something, the first game I was really interested in, only for the fact that it was Square. It was something new that they were working on, and it was only coming out on the Switch. And I just thought, well, maybe this is my chance to get on something at the ground floor, since I missed a lot of these type of Japanese-type games, I suppose, if they're Japanese. But you know what I mean. the genre of whatever that is, and to see if I could do that. And I never did. And now here we are coming up on a sequel for that game, which comes out in February, and I still haven't dipped my toe in those waters. Fae Farm is a Stardew Valley-like with a Disney aesthetic. The character designs already seem more diverse than more farming simulators. You can play with up to 4 people in local or online play. It's coming out next spring. Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. I don't know what that is, but it's Square again. It's a rhythm game from Square Enix. It allows you to tap along to 385 tunes from the Final Fantasy series.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. DLC songs will be from Chrono Trigger, Octopath Traveler, Nier. Is it Live Alive? Live Alive, yeah. Legend of Mana. And that's a lot of music tracks, man. That's a lot. Mario and Rabbids Spark of Hope. That was a fun game. This is the sequel, so I've basically not paid attention to anything with that game because I really loved the first one. I have no doubt that the second one will be fine. Rune Factory 3. Not something I ever played, but Rune Factory 3 was released for the Nintendo DS, and now they're bringing a port of it to the Switch. All right. They focus on some N64 additions to Nintendo Switch Online, Pilot Wing 64, Mario Party 1 and 2, Mario Party 3, Pokemon Stadium 1 and 2, 1080 Snowboarding, and Excitebike 64, as well as GoldenEye 007. From Rare.
Is Oddball available?
I would imagine it would be. It's also going to be on Xbox Game Pass because it is made by Rare. Yeah. And Rare is owned by Microsoft. What is this one? Something called Various Daylife. Square Enix is releasing yet another RPG on the Switch, but this one asks you to do chores in exchange for job classes. Various Daylife is available now. There's a trailer for it. I'll have to take a look. Factorio is getting released on the Switch, I believe. Yeah, October the 28th. Something called IB. You play a young girl who is visiting an art gallery with her parents. She is ensnared into a nightmarishly topsy-turvy version of the Gala. It's a pixel art horror game. Search for help while avoiding the museum's fatal traps and mischievous characters who mean you harm. Spring of 2023 release on that. Mario Strikers Battle League, the second pass is coming out for that. Let's see. Atlier? Is it Atlier?
It's called Atelier
Ryza, yeah. Another Japanese RPG that is okay. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, adding some tracks. Nintendo Switch Sports is getting a golf update. Pikmin Bloom, which is that Pikmin game from Niantic or whatever, where you use your phone to play Pikmin, I guess. But they did announce Pikmin 4.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I haven't even played the first Pikmin's game, so
I played the one on GameCube.
With Nintendo.
Yeah, I played the one on GameCube, and that was interesting. I want to say I tried to play the one on the Switch or something, but I heard reviews were bad for Pikmin 3, I think. But I can't remember. So anyway, get another chance at Pikmin 4. Just Dance 2023 edition. Harvestella, another Square Enix really likes to put out games on the Switch. So, yeah, there's that. What else do we have there? Bayonetta 3. More gameplay from that. October the 28th for Bayonetta 3. Enigma Archives, Rain Code. Spooky detective game, but as an RPG, you're able to explore magical dungeons and engage in boss battles as part of your sleuthing. Rain Code is being released in spring of 2023. Resident Evil Cloud. Which seemed to be...
Yeah, I don't get that.
Yeah, which seemed to be a hub for a bunch of Resident Evil things. Village, Biohazard 2 and 3, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3. So...
What does the cloud mean? Do they mean
I don't
streaming?
The Switch port of Resident a winter expansion will be available, which include a third-person mode and new story content. Will also be. That's what I'm feeling, like it's a stream type thing. But there was nothing in the description here on this article. I did not watch the Nintendo Direct, by the way. I meant to go back and watch it, but I never did. And I once I looked at some of the games that were announced, I was like, I don't have 40 minutes to kill to watch those games. Half of those are just not anything that's pulling me in. Sifu, it's already out on PlayStation, but it's getting a Switch release. Crisis Core, Final Fantasy VII Reunion. That's a long title. That'll be out December 13th. Radiant Silvergun. It is available now on the Nintendo Switch. Endless Dungeon. That is going to be released next year. Tales of Symphonia Remastered. Life is Strange. Arcadia Bay Collection. Brick Tales from Lego. Let's see. Romancing Saga. Square Enix RPG number 23 Myths gonna be. Yeah, it's another Square Enix game on the Switch, man. Disney Speedstorm. I'm kind of interested in that. Not necessarily on the Switch, but I am interested in how that plays. I'm down for a good kart racer. Fall Guys Season 2. Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe. That is a remake of the 2011 Wii title, but updated for modern hardware. And then, of course, the big guns. They showed off Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. We got a date. And Nintendo's pretty good about sticking to those dates. Mm-hmm. So we got a date, May 12th of next year, which tells me how long I have to finally get started and finish Breath of the Wild, which I never did. So, but yeah.
So is that a sequel or is it a DLC of Breath of the Wild?
This is a sequel. This is a full-on game. This is not DLC of any kind. This is I say it's a sequel. I don't necessarily know that it's Breath of the Wild 2, but it is a new Zelda game. Mm-hmm. It is not DLC. It is not some sort of holdover until we get a new full release. This is the big one. This is the big Zelda release, and that's happening next year. So that's what we got from Nintendo. Did you happen to watch the Sony State of Play thing?
I watched only the highlights, but I heard it wasn't very good because it's all mobile games and people don't tend to like that.
Was it mobile games? I don't remember. Tekken 8 they showed off, but I mean it was just a little trailer there. VR they showed off Star Wars Tales from the Galaxy's Edge Enhanced Edition. Demio, which is already out on the Quest. It's like a tabletop RPG, but in VR, and your characters on the board fight and do all this other stuff. It's
like Battle Chess?
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. But it's really, really interesting, and I'm glad that the PlayStation folks are going to get a chance to play it. Mm-hmm. Like a Dragon Ishin?
Ishin.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm glad it's there because there's a big audience for it, but not for me. They showed off Hogwarts Legacy, the haunted Hogsmeade shop in 4K there. That was really cool. That's a game, the Hogwarts Legacy. I am not a Potter person whatsoever. Mm-hmm. I don't know lore. I don't know characters other than like the mains, and yeah. I don't never read the books. I've watched the movies all of once, and it's not something that I ever really keep on my radar whenever there's something new with Harry Potter being released. This Hogwarts Legacy thing is really pulling me in. It looks fantastic. It's just got this great, I don't know.
That's interesting because you tend to stay away from fantasy stuff, don't you, Scott?
A little bit. Well, fantasy when you go into like fantasy knights and medieval and things like that. Fantasy stuff like that. Necessarily this is really interesting to me. I do not know why, and I need to see more of it. I'm not completely writing it off. I'm not writing it off at all. I just have a complete interest in what they're doing, and I think what they're doing is actually pretty good. It looks like it's going to suck me in.
Looks like an exploration, puzzle, adventure type
Yeah.
things like that. It just has Harry Potter's.
It's a third-person Harry Potter game that looks like you don't have to play as Harry Potter, obviously, but you just play as yourself and you go through the whole thing and do stuff. And I don't know. I'm down. I'm down to give it a shot.
So it didn't have to have Harry Potter's universe to get you in on it, did it?
It honestly didn't. I look at that and I'm like, man, I wish this was Batman. But then again, I play so much where I say, man, I wish this was Batman. We saw something called Pacific Drive. This was, I don't know what this was.
It's like I think what I looked at, the little limited information I got, it's like dystopian car driving, something like that. But
I know.
Like, you have to do everything you can to keep that car running because you're not going to survive long if you don't.
Right.
Something like that.
It's from Ironwood Studios, and it appears to mix first-person exploration of a dystopian-like world with some wild-looking car action. It comes out next year. This is something else that has kind of piqued my interest and said, okay, I'll keep an eye on that. They showed off that play.
Like Mad Max.
Yeah, kind of, but not. Yeah, I get you. But it seems like you're the only one. In other words, you didn't seem like you were coming across other drivers. You know what I'm saying?
What I gather is just you in the car.
It's you in the car, and you're racing against something and trying to get to some destination, and you need supplies, and you need fuel, and you need all this stuff. And I don't know. I'm definitely interested in seeing more.
Yeah.
Before I pass judgment. But I was what else do we have? PlayStation Stars. That is some sort of rewards program that they're going to be launching in PlayStation. You're fine. Whatever. Try again. Synduality, mech combat from Bandai Namco.
Yeah.
Third-person robot combat with guns and even some large crystal harvesting. Stellar Blade. This was at one time called Project Eve, but it's got a brand new name now. It is called Stellar Blade. It'll be out next year as well. It is a PS5 console exclusive. Looked interesting, and then the more it went on, the more I said, this is not me. That's not my game. Although Rise of the Ronin would not necessarily look like it would be my game either, but I was totally down for that. That's the one
closest to Batman that I saw in the whole thing.
Yeah, there you go. This should be more like Batman.
This is your Batman game right here.
Yeah, Japanese Batman.
But it's it's like Batman Ninja without the craziness.
Yeah, well,
in there.
That is the one set in Japan. It's described by Sony as a sprawling action RPG. It's developed by Team Ninja, so I mean, it's got some good development house behind or development company behind it. It's not going to be out until 2024. By the way.
Let me guess. At what point did it hook you? Like when he popped the glider?
I can't remember. I'd have to watch that trailer again, but I would tell you where it did. Well, the glider was, that was cool. But then when they went in to show some of the combat, it's like, all right, that looks good too. I'm down for that.
Yeah.
Something with the grappling
Definitely
hook.
looks very, very good.
Yep, sure does. I mean, Team Ninja's got a good rep. Then we got God of War is getting a PlayStation 5 controller. That's great. I thought that's what they were ending on when they showed off controllers. Like, really? You're not going to show any of the game? But then they did the story.
They have a system.
Huh?
I thought they have a system. I thought they would have a system.
Oh, for the God of War, they may.
Yeah, probably. I mean, you have a controller. Why not?
Yeah, they might do that, and they probably will.
Or they're going to do something like sell them separately or something completely.
We'll see. I don't know. We got the story trailer for God of War Ragnarok. That one comes out in November as well. So, yeah, there wasn't a lot for me in that one either. But what was there that was for me, I was in Pacific Drive, Hogwarts, Ronin, and God of War, of course, which they didn't even have to show God of War. It's like, I'm going to be there regardless. So, yeah. So, hey, Mung, if you can stick around, we have got to hit a break. And then when we come back, we'll go into more news. You want to hang around?
Yeah, I'll hang around.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. What time is it where you are?
Right now it's 10:30 in the morning, so it's all good.
Wow. 10:30, you're in the future.
Yeah, I am. And then the crazy thing is that when I travel I one time went to San Francisco, I actually lost like a whole day.
Yeah. No, you totally did.
Yeah.
And you also didn't get it back.
Yeah, that's right.
When you came back, you did not get it back. That is just the weirdest. I can't call it a mind. Well, you know what the next word is. It's like a time. Well, you know what the next word is.
Time slip.
Yeah, it's the closest to time traveling that I'll ever experience in my lifetime.
Yeah.
Oh man,
So
that's
it's like
some weird
it's
stuff.
like when those double digit hour differences start coming up.
How
Man.
long is that flight?
It was probably
15?
about 15 plus hours.
Oh my god!
But that's not because it's a direct flight, because, you got to stop at one place, stay for 3 hours. Then
How many connections did you have?
I think I ended up only having one, luckily. But I
One
had to
connection
stay-
in a 15-hour flight. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I had to stay in the one spot for like 3 or 4 hours before jumping on the next plane.
Jeez.
I hope San Francisco was worth
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was every American stereotype I ever saw on TV happen in real life.
Wow,
Like
that's
everything.
like,
From
wow,
Dave
that's actually
Chappelle
real?
comedy
Goodness.
things,
Well
like everything.
then, good. I would say that the trip was worth it then, just for you to at least experience that and say, "Oh, there we go. I got all the stereotypes in one trip. I'm good. I don't need to come back."
I couldn't believe it. It was great.
Although, from what I understand, it is ridiculously expensive to be a gamer where you're at.
Yeah, it is. It's like game prices are almost double compared to what you guys get in the States. Yeah.
It's
Jeez.
ridiculous.
We will never complain about
And-
game prices again.
Yeah, and Nintendo markets is really bad. We don't get as much stock from Nintendo. New Zealand's a very Sony Xbox country.
How are they on, how are they on people sending you stuff? Like, do you have any connections to where it's like, hey, I'll buy this game for you at so much less of the price and have it shipped? Although I imagine shipping is ridiculous.
Yeah, I was about to ask about the import market as an option for titles that you can't get hold of or whatnot.
Yeah, that's when it gets tricky, because it used to be that the government didn't put some commission tax. Like, there's now an extra tax for importing anything over a certain price.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's like another 20 or 30% tax. So I'll probably, if I try to get something from the States, chances I'll pay another 30 New Zealand dollars, which might be another 15, 20 US dollars to just get it sent here. And then on top of that is another 20% tax because I spent a certain amount of money over that.
Man.
Yeah.
Jesus.
It was, I remember the time when the US dollar was quite close to us. I think it was like 0.8 to a New Zealand dollar. And that was when Steam just came out, and we were just buying Steam games left and right at US prices before Steam decided, we're going to make it, international, and the prices are still going to be the same, but that's all marketing ploy.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Well, hang around. When we come back, we'll wrap things up here. But we got music now from a game called Little Orpheus. Ivan and the Whale is the name of this track. We'll be back with more of In-Game Chat and more of Mung right after this. Welcome back to In-Game Chat. Music here from Made in Abyss, which I know nothing about, but there is music from it.
A very good anime, but a little traumatic.
Oh, okay.
It can be a little traumatic. There's some spots that are real tearjerkers in there, and season 2 is running right now. But yeah.
Oh, all right.
Pretty good series, but what's the saying? Prepare to cry.
So there's a game based on it, I guess, then?
Yeah, it's a game
all
based
right.
on it.
What do you do in the game? Do you know about
I don't know about the game, but I know about the anime and the manga series. Yeah, it's a real it's a tearjerker.
Man, I know so little about the manga and Japanese animation stuff. I don't know it.
Hey, that's what you got me. That you got me, Chris.
That's really exactly. That's the reason you're here, because I don't know these things.
It's definitely a world of its own, the whole anime manga thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, totally. Let's see. We had an ID at Xbox Showcase, which is going to be a lot of indie type games. Something called Evil, which is this says a multiplayer social deduction game. It sees
social deduction.
Yeah, it sees up to 13 players working together in order to unmask conspirators hiding in a village beset by murders. Those cast as villagers must weed out the suspects by day, while those in the role of conspirators can decide who should be bumped off next by night. So
interesting.
That's an interesting, yeah. There's a trailer for it on YouTube if you're looking for it.
I'm thinking of Danganronpa. Sounds similar to that. It's like a bunch of students together, locked in the school, and a murder is committed, and then everybody has to pool their resources and figure out who
the murderer is,
who did the murder, and
Right.
and vote them out. Because I'm trying to remember the penalty if you mess up and don't get the investigation right. I think your character bites the bullet or something. I'm not sure, but that's what it sounds like to me.
Something else called Born of Bread serves up a blend of Paper Mario-like exploration and turn-based combat in which players, in the role of a flower golem, must travel the world from the mysterious ruins of the Forest of Roots to the bustling metropolis of South Munch City in order to save it from chaos. South Munch City. All right. Homestead Arcana is yet another entry into the increasingly overloaded farming sim genre. This is from developer Serenity Forge. Going to have magic involved with that one. So there's your little twist on it. Let's see. Other stuff from Skybound coming to Game Pass, which is Homestead Arcana, The Big Con, The Walking Dead, and Rainbow Billy. Song of Iron 2 from Relic's Nordic set action-adventure series, which I'd never played Song of Iron 1, but 2 got announced. Turnip Boy, we got a sequel to Turnip Boy Commits Tax Evasion. Mm-hmm. Turnip Boy Robs a Bank, which is the sequel. Yeah. He teams up with the fearsome Pickled Gang to stage the weirdest heist of all time that is coming up sometime next year. Let's Cook Together 2, little indie title. Call of the Wild, the Angler, which is basically just fishing.
Mm-hmm.
Ghostbusters Spirits Unleashed, that comes out next month on PC, Xbox, and Game Pass. I think it's a four-player like stick shooter, but with Ghostbusters.
Is that the one where it's like where people play as ghosts and then people play as the Ghostbusters?
I think maybe you could be right on that. Because it is a asymmetric multiplayer game giving 4 players the opportunity to strap on proton packs and hunt down spectral nuances controlled by a 5th player. So you're exactly right. Mm-hmm. Spider Heck. If it's spiders with laser swords you want, Spider Heck is the game for you. A fast-paced couch co-op brawler. Frantic web-swinging parkour and chaotic battling as players, either alone or in teams, battle to be the champion of the Spider Heck arena.
That sounds like that lobster game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
Crabs with knives, that type of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
City Skylines is getting the Plaza and Promenade expansion or whatever. It's the 11th major expansion. Just release a City Skylines 2 already. Just do that. Or put a City Skylines Game of the Year that comes with everything. There's so many DLC packs for that thing.
That'd be a huge game, man.
We saw something else called Shoulders of Giants. It is an explosive sci-fi roguelike, which a sword-wielding robot and gunslinging space frog battle their way across randomly generated landscapes. All right. Metal Hellsinger, which I thought came out this week. Yeah, September 15th is when it came out. It's on PC, Xbox, and Game Pass as well. That I played the demo of and really kind of liked it. I'm not big into those quick shooter-like things, but I really like the mechanics they were throwing in there for that game, where the beat, like you have to kill on the beat. You know, it's a first-person shooter, very Doom-esque.
Okay.
And you have to kill your enemies on the beat of the song, and the more you do that, more stuff gets added to the song, which means you can kill enemies faster.
Okay.
Because you're hitting more beats, more parts of the song to do that. So at first, when you're starting out a level, it's just boom, 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 boom. And as you do this, they add in more. Like maybe they'll add in a bass line. Boom, boom. And then you can start, shooting more. And then eventually when you get like a 16 multiplayer, they throw in the vocals. But at that point, when the vocals hit, you've got so many enemies. Oh, God, I almost threw a pen. You've got so many enemies coming around that it really, it's a rhythm shooter, first-person shooter is that was the first I had played. I know they exist beyond that, but that was the first I had played of those. I was like, all right, that works. We got something called Moonscars. It is a bleak action-adventure from a developer called Black Mermaid. It's set in a unforgiving, non-linear 2D world. You're on a quest to locate the mysterious sculptor, a journey that takes the form of a Souls-like Metroidvania. It's coming out September the 27th, so pretty soon. It's from Humble Games. Another game called You Suck at Parking. It's a racing game where your goal is to stop. It's got 100 increasingly difficult levels, challenging players to careen around corners, screech to a halt in a minuscule parking spot as quickly as possible. You can play it in solo or multiplayer as well. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How far can you drift?
Right, and then
spot?
land in the spot there.
Right in the spot.
Reminds me of Jackie Chan stunts.
Oh my God! Yeah. Those are my favorite. Like every Sunday or Monday or whatever, because they upload every Saturday. But the Cordo crew on YouTube, they do they always do like VFX artists react, or they do animators react, or they do the one I like are the stunt people react, because then they go into the fighting and the stunts that are done with fighting choreography and stuff like that. And every time they do one of the stunt things, they always reference Jackie. Always reference Jackie Chan. So oh God, I love that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I saw one of the stunt like training videos. I saw one of those before. There was a lady running at top speed, but she had a rope tied to her back. But she kept running top speed. When eventually it snatched her back and her head flew back, the dude timed a perfect staff swing, and it looked like he knocked her out.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, like that type of thing. But I didn't notice the rope until after he did the strike and pulled it back. I didn't notice the rope behind her until after that.
Otherwise, it looked brutal as hell.
It looked brutal. It was like, gee, oh.
Yeah.
That's
a stunt. What else do we get? Amazing Cultivation Simulator, which basically that's the title. It's a cultivation simulator.
Farming sim.
Yeah, kind of. You might want to check out this game because it's a strategy sim management game inspired by Chinese mythology. The goal is to rebuild your sect and train new disciples, researching magic and gathering mystical artifacts along the way as you continue along your path to spiritual ascension. It is out now, by the way. Yinglet? I don't know what that is. Y-N-G-L-E-T. It's a floating non-platformer sporting a highly reactive and dynamic soundtrack. It's out now on Xbox. Yinglet. I'll have to check that out then, just to see what it is. Valheim is going to be on PC Game Pass September 29th. and that is your ID at Xbox. So there you go. All right. I was going to jump into the Call of Duty stuff. We got like 3 minutes left. So anything you want to talk about real quick there, Mung? Or is it Mr. Beans?
Probably nothing real quick, but that's all good.
Yeah. Well, hey, man, we appreciate you joining us. It's great to hear from you. I always encourage people to jump in on Discord because it sounds great. We don't have to worry about a phone line or anything like that. It just sounds perfect coming through, so I do appreciate that. What have you been playing, by the way? Just in these few seconds we got left, what have you been playing?
I've been jumping onto Borderlands 3 and Phoenix Rising on the Game Pass, Xbox Game Pass.
Yeah? Is that on PC or console? Are you doing that on console or PC?
I'm doing that on PC. It should be available. Isn't it the same with the console?
It is, but I was going to, and we don't have enough time, but I wanted to go into asking you how Xbox Game Pass on PC has been working out, because I hear a lot of like unable to erase games completely from your library. A lot of issues with that, with stuff just staying on your hard drive. It's not all the time. It doesn't even affect everybody, but it could affect you. Maybe in the future. I don't know. And so I've been very, very leery about doing that.
I'll have to look into it myself, but I haven't noticed those things.
I'll try and send you some links so that you can understand what I'm talking about, and maybe you can look and see if maybe that's happening. But hey, man, we appreciate it. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, no, happy. Always love to have chats about games and stuff.
Oh, it's great. It's great. All right, well, we got to go. Thank you, everybody, for joining us, and in the chat room, as well as on Discord, and on listening on the stream, and on the radio as well. We really do appreciate it. Join us on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitch. Subscribe on Twitter. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe to iTunes. We are all over the place. And we appreciate you when you do that. Have a fantastic week. We'll be back next week. I'm going to leave you here with music from Steel Rising. Yeah, Steel Rising. It's the main menu music theme. And we'll be back next Saturday. Have a great week. Oh, that's loud.